What's up, guys? Today I wanted to come up with a really cheap and easy thrusting practice rig. Specifically, I'm here at the house and I was practicing with my quarterstaff doing spear thrusting, and I decided that I wanted some form of target, and here over my shoulder you can see what I've been working on. Now, I made this out of very inexpensive needlepoint rings. You can get them at craft stores, hobby stores. They're just wooden rings. I think I paid like $1 a piece for them. And what I did was I spray painted them to seal them from the weather. Now, you could really use any sort of circle or ring you wanted. And once I explain this, it'll make a bit more sense. It doesn't matter what it's made out of. The only reason I chose the wood was because it was about the right size and it was cheap. But you could make these out of steel rings, like barrel rings. Barrel rings might be the best idea because they would last forever. But honestly, you could cut rings out of paper plates. You're not going to be hitting the rings, so the durability of the ring doesn't really matter. And the longevity and the durability of the ring only matters if you plan to hang it outside and if you don't just want to make one of these every time. So anyway, here it is. I actually spaced these 3 rings out based on my body. Now, it's hanging up a little higher than me right now because I'm letting the spray paint dry. But if I come around here, hopefully you can see this top ring. Obviously, the perspective is it's not gonna work quite right, so I will show you when I take it down. But this top ring is about the size of my head, and I spaced it so that the top ring is about where my head is. This middle ring is about the size of my chest, and it will hang about where my torso is. The small ring down here will hang about where my groin is. So when I hang all 3 of them at my height, and I could adjust the height to anybody that I wanted to train against, but that is going to be a perfect representation of a head, a torso, and a groin hanging in about the right levels. So let me show you how I use it. Now, I don't immediately know how well you guys can see me or this, so after the paint dries, I'll take it out in the backyard and give it a real test. But for now, I just wanted to show you how I plan to use this. So to demonstrate, got my cutlass and my quarterstaff / training spear. So with the spear, what I'm doing is just practicing my thrust. Now, I do not want to hit the ring, and I don't want to hit the string. So what I'm going to try to do is thrust through these targets without touching them. Now, when the wind blows, or if I do hit it and it starts to spin, I need to take that into account. If I can circle around it to get a better angle, great. If it's swinging and I have to time my thrust, great. Now again, this is not including any parries or dodging, although I do have an idea how to upgrade this thing to include parries, but for now it's just a thrust trainer. So, woo! All right, it's moving. Oh. Missed that one. The chest is a lot easier, obviously. Head's a little harder, and the groin is very difficult. Moves around a lot. There it was. Let's try the cutlass. Might be a little easier. Nope. That's the basic idea. Once the paint dries, I'll hang it up in the backyard. We'll see if I can't get some sort of a parry system worked out with a broomstick. We'll see how it works. What's up, guys? I'm back. I was thinking about 2 things. One, I think I should repaint the thrust trainer in like a neon orange or red or yellow or something so that I can more easily see it. I think that would increase the accuracy, just being able to see the circle a little better in my overall field of vision, contrasted against whatever's behind it. But also so that I can train later in the evening without requiring light, because this copper color is already starting to play tricks on my eyes in the evening light. So I think I'm gonna repaint it tomorrow, something really bright, like tractor red. Anyway, I'm ready to give it a shot. I've got it about at my height, still a little bit taller than me, but now you can get a better idea of how this is sized and spaced to mimic my body. Let me get on the other side. What an effing amateur. See this? Hey-o. Got my bubbly, not a sponsor. Got my quarterstaff and my cutlass, so I'm gonna set up the camera and just work on this thing for a while and see if we can get some good clips. All right, guys, first things first, I think I figured out an easy, and again, everything about this is cheap and easy. You know, I'm staying at my Airbnb this week. I wanted to train in the backyard. So this is all stuff that I was able to, in the case of these rings, you know, I bought them a month ago and kept them in the back of my truck, planning on this project, but I think you could make something really easy. And I got some wire hangers to illustrate this point. I'll show you in a minute. You can see I took a plastic hanger to hang the whole thing from the tree limb. Now today, what I added, I took my original quarterstaff that you saw me training with in the previous clip here. I laid it at an angle and I used fishing line, pretty stout fishing line, to tie it up to the same limb that the original training rig is hanging from. So my hope is that I can sort of practice some parries and blocks on my entrances before striking at the target areas. We'll see. But just to illustrate how easy this thing is to make, let me show you something. All right, like I said, I bought these needlepoint rings with the intention of making exactly this rig, and I've had them in the back of my truck forever. But this is just 2 wire coat hangers. Oddly enough, I'd like to have 3, but I didn't have any wire coat hangers. All the hangers in the Airbnb are plastic. I actually had to ask the neighbor, and they only had 2. So maybe wire hangers aren't as easy to find as I thought. I'm sure you can find a few, at least 2 or 3. So I'm just gonna take them and open them both up like that. Hang one from the other. Go ahead and twist that top so that it stays on there. And now, for damn near free and 2 seconds of my time, I've made yet another easy spear thrust practice rig. It's not the same as the other one, but no 2 people are the same. I'm gonna hang this one up right next to the original and we'll try it out while I try out the parrying on the original. I also have a lighter spear, and this is yet to illustrate another point. I have a broomstick that I just basically stuck a cheap, you know, $5 Amazon spearhead on, just like a survival knife spearhead, and it's very lightweight. I like it. But if you're at an Airbnb and you make one of these out of wire hangers and you want to practice, you don't have a spear, you don't have a staff, just take a broomstick, unscrew the broom head off of a broom handle, and you instantly have a perfect little spear quarterstaff to practice with. All right, see what I mean? Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. It's so easy to make these things. There's no excuse not to. I'm gonna try out the parries and blocks on this one. My thought being that if I come in, that's the basic idea.